Good morning. This is Jacqueline Richard Simmons, J.D. Diamond, Jackie Deja, whatever y'all call me. I hope everybody's having a wonderful morning. We got to thank God for having another day, for giving us another day, and be thankful for that day, because not everybody woke up today. From babies to old people. So death has no discrimination. Today, we're going to talk about soul attachments, okay? You know, you hear people talk about, I want to meet my soulmate, I want to be with my soulmate, and all these other things, and that doesn't exist, okay? And I'm going to tell y'all why. Because we are attached to many, many souls. From the time that you come out your mother's womb, you're automatically attached to a soul. And quite as kept, I would actually say inside the womb, we get attached to souls. Because even inside the womb, we can hear, we can feel vibrations, we know voices. And that's been proven not only by me, by other people as well, other like scientists and, that have been watching babies inside the womb. And I didn't believe it, but however, God blessed me with my little E-job. And when she was in my womb, I did ABCs with her. I played music for her. Certain people that I was around a lot, like at work, she knew their voices. So, yeah, we start attaching ourselves to souls from the moment that our bodies start forming, actually, okay? And we have to learn, what souls we need to... No, not what souls we need to... I was going to say what souls we need to attach to. What good part of the souls we need to keep, okay? Because everybody has good and bad spirits. It's all on how you deal with your good and bad spirits, okay? And that's determined on you, okay? That's where good and evil sets in, okay? Now, I'm going to run it down, and I always tell people, like, understand me. Once you understand me, you know me and you love me, because I'm made up of so many souls, and just like you and I, now I touch base with my family, and my family was strong in God. So it made me attached to the good of them instead of the bad of them, and I always tell y'all this, my people, they gave me the Bible and they said, read it. You need to understand it. That's the ticket to life. That's it. That's all we telling you. Now, throughout any bad that goes on throughout this life, you refer back to God because we can't help you. You got to refer to God because we got a lot of bad souls. We are contracted and we don't want you to contract all them bad souls. So we giving you the ticket so you'll know how to get rid of some of the bad stuff and keep the good. When I was young, I went through some pain very early in my life, where I lost my little brother. We were molested. He was raped. I was molested. I was abused. And I went through a lot in darkness. I was in a room with nothing. Okay, no TV, no bed, no nothing. Just shut in this room. Okay. No lights, and it was torture to me, as a child, But in darkness, you learn to accept the power of God, because that's when your body and mind is resting. So you can physically, instead of seeing everything else, when your eyes are closed, you see darkness, Okay, people got this thing all mixed up, and I'm so tired of them teaching these kids the wrong way. They think everything dark is bad. Dark is power. Okay, that's when we regain our power during the night. Okay, when you sleep, just like when you get sick. Let me use this for instance. When you get sick and you go to bed at night. Okay, after you took all this medication and drugged you up, and you say, "Oh, I feel terrible," I got to get through this. And you go to bed and you sleep, and your body rests. Okay, you rest better in the darkness because your body is trying to rebuild itself. It's trying to heal. Okay, everything happens at night. Okay. That way, when you wake up in the morning, you can see the light. And that's the way it works. Getting back to the souls. As y'all know, I said it again, about my situation and my pain and my past. However, once I left my mom, my grandmom died, okay? I was attached to her soul. I had some things in her that she taught me and the way she do things. It was attached to me. She had good things and she had bad things. The good things was she was very loving and caring. She ate a lot of fish. She was a seamstress. But she was also an alcoholic and a fighter, okay? And when I say a fighter, meaning she will fight you in a minute, okay? You will get hit if she wasn't feeling you, okay? If you was doing something that was out of whack, she was going to go upside your head, May she rest in peace. That was Doris Rodriguez Dowdy. I had a piece of that with me, carried it because I was the child that lived with her. Okay, I lived with her for many years before she died, and I was living with her when she died. So when she died, I carried that soul along with me. And people used to say, Jackie is crazy. Better not say much, so because she'll bust you upside the head. A lot of my family members would say that to me too. But the whole time I was carrying a piece of Doris Dowdy. Okay, which is my grandmother. And I said, in reality, I love my grandmother, but I don't like that soul. I gotta release it. At the time, I didn't know it was a soul that I was holding on to. So I had to release it because I didn't want to be that person. I didn't want to have that negative part of her. I wanted to have the good part. The good part meaning the seamstress, the caring, the way she, taught me how to gut a fish. Okay? I remember living in Buffalo when I had a friend named Tim. And he used to go fishing all the time. And he would go get this catfish. I love catfish. And he said, Jackie, you young. You don't know how to gut no fish. I said, yes, I do. I said, my grandma Doris taught me what to do. And he was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go fishing. And when I come back, I'm going to bring you a bucket of fish. I want to see this. I said, okay. So he went fishing and he came back and he brought me a bucket of fish. I couldn't believe it. And I was like, oh my God, I got all this fish. So I got me some newspaper and I got on my back porch and I started gutting them fish and taking out all the insides. And I don't know how to fillet a fish, but I know how to gut it and take out all the insides and cut the heads off. And he said, oh my God, you know how to gut a fish. I said, I told you my grandmother taught me. He was like, wow. He was like, but didn't you tell me your grandmother died? I said, yeah, she died. when I was 10, but that don't mean I don't remember. She's a part of my soul. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know at the time that that's why I remembered, because she was a part of me. I held that part of her within me. Moving on, I went to live with my mom. After that, and my mom, she had some drug issues and stuff like that. And but my mother was also a loving, caring person. My mother, she didn't do much like in the household. She wasn't that type of person. Like, she's not putting stuff together or sewing. She's not doing none of that because she was into dance when she was in school. So she would take me and dance with me, okay, all the time, especially on Fridays. She'd come home from work, we got to dance. So that's all I knew, was dancing on Friday. Either we was doing it at our house or we was going to our grandma's house. And that was both my grandma Doris and my mom and my grandma Tina. Okay? It was a part of me. So people say, oh, you always dancing. Well, that's what my mother did, and I liked it. It felt good. I kept that part of her. But her drugs, addiction, and alcoholism, I threw that away. I threw that part of her soul away. I didn't like it. Moving on. My dad and my mom, both of them was they entrepreneurs. They've always had businesses, both of them. My dad had limo service. He liked to drive. It was big, for him. And it was in his soul as well, because his mom, she sold Avon for a very, very long time. My mom, she sold Mary Kay for a very, very long time. So this is what I've seen. This is the part of their souls that I contracted. Okay, so people say, why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Why do you want to be? Well, I had it on both sides. And I've contracted that good of their souls. And once my mom had the issues with the drugs and the situation with the guy that hurt me and my little brother, once my brother passed away and I went into the system and I wound up going living with my aunt and uncle in the Bronx, they had some bad going on as well, but they had a lot of good. When they passed away, I didn't have too much bad. The most bad that they had was the eating habits. Okay, the eating habits was terrible. And I believe that's why they're dead today. However, my aunt, she taught me how to plant, how to do the garden, roses. All I can always see is roses. Because every spring I would go out and the thorns would be sticking in my fingers and cut the roses. And she said, you got to make sure you cut it slanted now. And I said, yeah, okay, I remember. She said, now, don't get stuck by the thorns. And I always used to get stuck by the thorns. That was right in the South Bronx, 103rd Street and Cortlandt Avenue. In between Cortlandt and Melrose. Okay? People say, why you love roses so much? It's a part of my soul. Every spring I would go out and cut the roses. My uncle, he bought this house in the Bronx. Had it built from the ground up. The year 1969, right before I was born. When my mother gave birth to me, that was the house that I went home to. I don't know what my uncle had in his heart. But he was saying, "Come on, Jackie." I said, "What are you doing?" And take it downstairs and show you how to do this. He taught me how to cure meat. Like people, they don't understand. Like my daughter, I'm going to use this for instance. Yesterday I was making some string beans. And my daughter was like, "Ma, the meat don't taste, like salty how normally it tastes because I boil all the salt off of it. And I don't put my string beans and my greens inside of that salt. Okay. I boil it off, throw it out. Because it's actually bad for you. But it's to keep the meat pretty much pure. Okay? But the salt is not good for us. So I boil it off. But the average person wouldn't know that if they never knew how they cured meats. Okay? And my uncle would cure some of the meats in the basement in the Bronx. And he would show me. And what happened was he would normally go down to Richmond and get the meat because his family cured the meat and he would go drive back. But as he was getting older, he got tired of, driving up and down the highway. So he would do it himself. And I remember that. Okay? And he's dead. So I said, "Oh, something must have wasn't right. So you know what? I got to get this. The smoked meat tastes good. Okay? But it has a lot of sodium on it, and I have to get rid of it. That could be one of the reasons why they were getting ill. So I'm going to make sure that I get that sodium off." And you see how I held on a part of his soul and reversed it. It was bad, but I still found a way to make it good. He also taught me how to have patience and put things together and make things and investigate certain things that could be broken, that could be fixed with just a screw. People don't know, my uncle built our grill. We used to go in the backyard and barbecue. He built that grill, with cement. Because he was a construction worker, so this is what he did. He brought his work home to benefit him to save money. Okay, because he was paying a mortgage, taking care of a family, and you have to always find a way to save money. So when people ask me, "Jackie, where you get this from?" You always putting something together and you would be enjoying it. And I'm like, yeah, because I have the soul of my uncle in me. The things that he taught me. Okay? Same with my grandma Tina. She was the fashionista of the family. Her and my Aunt Lawana. Well, she's my I call her my aunt because she's my mother's age. However, she's actually my second cousin. But them two were fashionistas. That's what they did. They dressed. They bought clothes. They had so many clothes. My Grandma Tina, she had so much clothes that she needed a bedroom to be her closet. And she had a 3-bedroom apartment on 147th Street between Broadway and Amsterdam. And one bedroom was for guests. The other bedroom was her clothes and her shoes and her hats. because she had the most beautiful hats that she would wear to church every Sunday. Okay. I held on to that. I didn't pick up everything from them, but I still have a piece of their souls. Okay. My grandmother, Tina, I never really seen too much bad about her or grasped a negative energy from her. And I believe that's why she lived so long. She could have lived longer if she would have stepped her game up, Matter of fact, yeah, that was the bad, okay? She did not want to elevate as the world was elevating, okay? And I told myself I would not do that, That's why people say, oh, you always, be around the kids, because I'm trying to learn. I want to know what's new that can keep me alive longer. My grandmother, to the day she died, never bought a washing machine. Okay, she washed her clothes by hand. And then she would yell at me because I wanted to go to the washing machine to wash the clothes. She didn't want my daughter Shaquana's clothes being washed in a nasty washing machine. And I said to her, Grandma, the water goes in there and soap. It cleans it each time. She wasn't trying to hear me. She was so accustomed to her old ways. Okay? She wouldn't buy an upgraded refrigerator. She didn't like the newer type of refrigerator. She had one of them old ice boxes, like the old pull handle. When you close it, I don't know if any of y'all seen them, but she had one of them old ice boxes. Maybe I could find a picture of it and show it to y'all. She kept that ice box for so long. And she got sick because her food was spoiling. Okay, she was eating this spoiled food, didn't even know the food was bad. Because this ice box was just no longer any good. Okay, we used to tell her, Grandma, you have to upgrade. She refused to upgrade, so she felt like she was going into another dimension of these newer things that she had to learn. Okay, and I told myself, I grabbed I grabbed the whole of a lot of her soul, the community, helping, working, looking nice. I grasped the whole of a lot of her soul, but that, people don't understand why. And the reason being is because it took her to her death. Okay? And see, this is what we do. We grab a hold of all our family members' souls, all the mates that we date, we grab a hold of a piece of them. We're made up of all of these people. Okay? And instead of us throwing away the bad and actually analyzing the good and the bad of the person the soul that you have a soul attachment with, we constantly hold on to that and destroy our own lives. Okay? Because we're made up of so many different souls. I told myself, I said, Jackie, we're not going to do that. We're going to elevate with the world. We're not going to be stuck in our old ways. I see people my age and a little bit younger. They don't want to work out. I mean, when I say a little bit younger, meaning the generation under me. But, y'all know the younger kids, they work out, And working out was mainly, back when I was coming up, was mainly for athletes. They the ones that worked out all the time. And I was an athlete, so I had to work out. I ran a lot because that's what I used to do. I used to run. And I had to have stamina, So in jumping rope, you know, I had to have that stamina. I had to be able to do it for a long period of time. So you got to be able to last long. So I had to practice that, you know, being able to last long, you know, doing something. That was my makeup. That was my soul, you know. Because I was the only one in the family that ran, you know, that did track, and enjoyed it. That's who I was. So for me to get up at my age, you know, and say I'm going to the gym, it's normal for me. But it's not normal for everybody, especially if they never really was an athlete. Okay? People be saying they're just too tired. I'm too tired. But they don't know if you work out, you'll get more stamina. You will be able to do things a little bit more if you work out. You know, that's just what it is. Yeah, it makes you tired, but once you rest, your body is ready to go. This is why we must rest. You know, I constantly tell people this all the time. We must rest. We have to sleep. The body needs to rest in order for it to rejuvenate. Okay? The body can't try to keep pumping and pumping all day. Just like if you run a car, okay, when it run out of gas, the car gets to rest. It gets to cool down. Okay? All of the fluids going through gets to stop for a moment. Okay? Because if you run it nonstop, it's not gonna work properly. And that's just the facts of it. It's gonna get wear and tear on it, which makes us weak when we put wear and tear on our bodies. Okay? People think that the stuff that you do at a young age doesn't affect you when you get older. It does. You know, people are quick to say, well, I'm young. Yeah, but if you destroy it now, what's going to happen when you get 50, 60 years old? Did you think that far? No, we don't think that far. And I had to learn that. Me, personally. You know, I had to sit down and think about that. And God showed me that, you know, through my family members. So do I want to grasp a hold of, do I want to be made up of the negative of my family or the good of my family? And then we pass those positive and negative souls over to others. Okay, people that's not even in our families. Like when we have a mate, you know, and I've been studying this, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. I've been studying this. I couldn't understand like why there were certain things that my grandson was doing, certain things that my daughter was doing. You know, some things they do like me, and some things they do like my significant other because he's been in their lives since they were babies. So all they know is them, other than the people that they go out in the street and connect with them. Okay? And this is all called soul ties. Okay? We meet people, we be around them, and we grasp some of their doings, and we wonder, why am I doing this? Because you are part of them. You've made yourself a part of them. You've had that soul connection. Okay? But when there's bad, you have to let the bad connection go. You can always hold on to them, have a piece of their soul with you. But you have to let the bad go. Because then their total makeup becomes your total makeup. And what you're trying to build in your soul is not a perfect person, but a pure person. So you want to let all that negative, like when I see them all over Facebook and talk about take the trash out. Yes, the same with your soul. Take the trash out and get rid of it. The way we get rid of it is through meditation and rest. Okay? We meditate, then we rest to get rid of all the bad and negative, which they call energy. Okay? When you see people come into your life and they're doing bad stuff, matter of fact, I'm going to go here. You know how they say, when they see a young child, especially a female, and she's doing all these negative things, you're like, where this child get this from? They get it from their mom. And it's not that they were taught that. Okay? And that's the way that they want to be. They have that soul attachment. And they don't know how to get rid of it. Okay? They don't know how to get rid of it to be different. So then they start looking for other souls to connect with that's better. Okay? That's what they do. Because they don't want to be what their parents are. Some kids can recognize it, but not all kids. Okay? So when these kids are acting out, and it's not normal, and you say, well, where did this child get this stuff from? It could be a person that they attach themselves to in school. It can be even on TV. If they see a person on TV that they want to be like so bad, they can attach their souls to them as well. Okay? The energy, feeling their energy. So these are the things that we have to look out for. I don't know if I told y'all this story. My grandson, my great-grandson, he got sick. Okay? He was jumping on the bed. I had just gave him milk. And I gave him his bottle so he can lay it down. And the girls was in the room, and they was all playing. And I said, didn't I tell y'all all to lay down? Because the baby got to go to sleep. And so he see them up, so now he up. And I'm telling him, come on in here. He wants to be with the girls. So I'm like, okay, you can go sleep with the girls, but y'all need to lay down. None of them was listening. So he's jumping on the bed, playing around. They throwing him around. So he threw up. Okay? And when he threw up, he immediately, this is crazy. This is a 2-year-old. He immediately grabbed a shirt. It was a shirt that was on the couch. He grabbed the shirt and started trying to clean up the throw up. And was fighting me, okay, to clean it up. And I said, baby, listen, stop. I had to pick him up and talk to him face to face. You're sick. You're sick. What I need you to do, because I'm here to care for you. I had to literally stop him and talk to him face to face. I'm here to care for you because I'm the adult and you're the child. You don't have to clean it up. What I need you to do is get yourself ready to get in the tub so I can wash you up because you've thrown up all over yourself, and change your clothes, make you feel better, and lay you down. And he just looked at me. And then he grabbed the shirt and still tried to clean it up. So now I had to pull him away from the area. Okay? That was a soul attachment that he had gotten from somebody else, which was probably his father. Okay? Because what the kids used to do when they was young would throw up and leave it there for me to clean it. Okay? And I mean, that's what my ex-husband taught them. Okay? They'd throw up and I'll be at work and he'll be like, cover it up until your mom comes. And I will have to come in the house and clean it. And I used to get angry because, like, okay, what time did you throw up? When I got out of school, okay, you threw up at 3:30. It's now 6:30, 7 o'clock. I'm coming home from work. Why is the throw up still on the floor? Nobody cleaned it up. So I implemented in my family, if you got to throw up, you make it to the bathroom. You can feel it coming up. You know when you're nauseous. Make your way to the bathroom. So I already knew where my great-grandson got that from. He got it from his dad. Because he knew if he threw up and it wasn't cleaned up when I came home, because he didn't make it to the toilet, I was going to flip a script. Because I'm not going to work and then come home and clean up y'all nasty throw up that y'all left in the floor and stepping over it. So I said he got this from his father. Automatically knew. But you see that soul attachment from my ex-husband implementing stuff in our lives that I had to change. But I had to let the baby know that you're little. You don't even know how to clean up, throw up properly, disinfect, or none of this stuff. So let me take care of it, because you're still a baby. Now, when you get 6 and 7 and you start throwing up all over my house because you want to jump around and play and all this other stuff, yeah, I'm going to make you clean it. And then I'll go behind you and clean it. But for right now, you're a baby. That's 2 generations of soul attachment that was embedded into my children from a whole nother person because of the way I had to teach my kids, because of what he implemented in my home. Because he felt like the wife needed to do all of these things. And when I would come in, he would say, did you see the throw up? The boy is sick. Or this one is sick. So now I got to come in, clean up, throw up, still try to cook dinner, then try to tend to the sick child. I'm only one person. But that was something that his parents did. So what I decided to do when me and my husband got a divorce, we're not living like that anymore. You're going to clean up your throw up. You're not going to work me to death. Especially when you're not physically sick some of the time. You're making yourself sick. And then you want me to clean it up. So I'm just using this as an example. You know, and we get these soul attachments and from different people and bring them in our lives, and that forms who we become. But sometimes you have to sit down and analyze, is this the person I want to be? And if it's not, then you pray on it. You meditate and you get rid of some of that negative baggage that you're putting on yourself. See, people are not breaking it down to the simplest form. So people can really understand what's happening. They just tell people, oh, negative energy. How do we know it's negative energy? We can feel it. Not everybody has negative energy, or it could be because they was around someone with negative energy. It's not that they are the negative energy. They was around someone with negative energy. That negative energy attached to them, and now they're taking it all over the place. That's why we have to be aware of the people that we're around, because you can take that negative energy around others that doesn't have anything to do with anything. What is your makeup? What is your character? Like, I have a couple of friends, they do stuff like me. So I say, okay, they was brought up like me. Like one of them is like taking a bath a lot. Like, I got a friend, she is very, very particular about her kids getting up and meeting herself, just like myself, getting up, taking a bath before you hit the streets. And when I saw that about her, I was like, damn, that's how my people was. Because I know where she got it from. She got it from her people. That's soul attachment. But she also has some bad attachments as well that she hasn't let go. And then we pick up some of these bad attachments, from people that we come in contact with. And we bring them home to our families. And it trickles down. It's called the domino effect. I had a friend come by one time, and they wanted to wash their face because, I guess their face felt dirty. And it's like, can I get a wash rag? So I went, got the wash rag. You know how you hold the wash rag out, give it to the person. So they came one time after work, wanted a wash rag to wash their face. And I said, well, you know what a wash rag is. Well, they went and got the wash rag, and it came to me and held it out. And I'm like, I'm not the one that need the wash rag. And I just looked at them like, and then they just went, they took the rag, they had to snap back. That was the process of our soul attaching. That person knew right where to go get the wash rag. Their intentions was to get the wash rag for themselves. But at that moment, they were me getting the wash rag for them. Okay? That's how souls become attached. And then you say, well, what's wrong with me? Why did I just do that? That's because you're attaching yourself to another soul. But when you attach yourself to a soul, you attach yourself to that whole soul and then delete. That's just like when you write in a book and you write the book out and then the book has to be edited. And you got to say, no, we got to get that out of there and we got to rewrite that. I don't like that. It's the same way with our souls. We attach ourselves to these souls because of love, because of the want to be a part of them. But we have to learn to delete the bad. Everyone has bad ways. That's all of our makeup. We all have bad ways because we've been picking up all these souls along the way. Years after years after years. However, you have to learn to delete the bad. Or some of the bad. And create your own makeup. In that spot. You know, my daughter constantly tell me, Ma, I'm only 12. You know, when I be teaching her stuff. And I be like, yeah, you're right. You're only 12. So now she's elevated to, because she's about to be 13. She's elevated to now she's starting to think and feel for herself. Like, you know, I'm proud of her, you know, because I'm watching her grow and it's a beautiful experience. And she's trying to figure out who she is, you know. And she would never go in a store by herself, you know, up until last week, actually. She said, Mommy, please go in the store with me. I don't like being in there alone. And up until last week, you know, she's been brave, and now she goes in the store by herself. I can sit in the car and watch her, and, you know, she pay for her stuff. Now, I've taught her how to pay for her stuff via card and everything, but I've always been by her side. But now she's able to go in, pick what she wants, stand in line, and pay for her stuff and come out. She's trying to find out who she is. Okay? Now, she did something the other day. Pissed me off. Because she's still attached to her dad's soul, which I don't have a problem with that because that's her father. But I want her to pick the good things. Okay? What she did was her dad had this habit of after I cook food, he would take a paper towel and cover the food with the paper towel. That's what his family did. Okay? I don't like bugs. Okay? You can't tell me, even if you don't have big bugs like roaches and stuff like that, there's always flies, gnats, anything that's exposed to the outside. When you open up your door, something flies in. Okay? So my people, we always use aluminum foil. So like I would go out, all right, I would call them up. I'm going to the store, I'm going to work or whatever. I put the food in the oven, make sure you take the food out. And I would come home and he would have the food on the counter. I said, we have tops that goes on the pots. We have aluminum foil for the pans. You know, he would look at me like I'm crazy. Like, why is you coming at me? And I'm like, because your people did that don't mean it was right. And you got to let that negative portion go and learn the new way. The new way is we put aluminum foil on it. That's why I invest in a $10 box of aluminum foil every month. I don't buy it for no reason. Okay? It's a necessity in my home. Where some things may be a necessity in some people's home, and it may not be a necessity to others in somebody else's home. Well, aluminum foil was always a necessity in my home. Always. That was always on the shopping list. In every house that I went to in my family. And make sure you get some aluminum foil. There was not one person in my family that I can go to their house and say, can I have some aluminum foil? And they didn't have it to give me. It was a necessity, just like toilet paper. This is how we covered our food. Or with the tops. But he had this habit of putting the paper towels over it. And I would get very angry. Like, because I tell him, and then he'll constantly do it. And I'm like, let it go. Let it go. Even though I know you love your family. But certain things that was negative, you have to let it go. Because that's not going to work in here with both of us. Because we do have bugs. And the paper towel, they can lift the paper towel. Or there's always a little crack that they can crawl through or fly in. So my daughter has picked that up. Okay. She's picked that up. And I said, baby girl, I said, I see your dad right now. And she looked at me. And, she's like trying to figure out what I'm saying. I see your dad right now. I live here with me and you, but I see your dad right now. And I said, don't you ever put paper towels across my food. You put aluminum foil. Because I don't want bugs in my food. And she just looked at me. I said, now, if you didn't know about putting the paper towels and you didn't know about the aluminum foil, which one would you choose? And she looked at me. The aluminum foil, because I could tighten it around it. Exactly. So that's the makeup that you're going to have. I know it was easier to just pull a couple of strips of the paper towel and lay it over there. But that's not what we're going to do here. Now, there's like some foods, even though my family used aluminum foil, like when we made cake, my aunt would take a clean dish rag and cover the cake. Or if she was making bread or pie crust, she would take the dish rag and cover the bowl. Okay, but the dish rag is like pretty heavy, but it's breathable, So you got to know why people do the things that they do and what we need to discard, In other words, you have to use your common sense, okay? And sometimes we hold on to stuff that other people have implemented into our lives, and it's a part of our soul because it's what we've seen every single day and how they lived every single day. Even if it's your parents, sometimes you have to let it go because it's bad trash. And that's just what it is. Like addiction in my family. Addiction is heavy in my family. But I know how far I want to go with addiction. And I know what not to use, like alcohol or hard drugs, because I don't want to have those addictions. Because I watch my family suffer from it. So I had to throw that trash out. No, that won't be a part of my soul. Just because I seen it, just because I felt it, no, it won't be a part of my soul. I will not. You have the right to determine who you want to be. Your makeup. It's a choice. And God is there to help us through those choices. And sometimes we don't know something is bad until we came in contact with other people, other souls. But until then, you'll know whether or not you want to adopt it into your soul or you want to put it in the trash. That's just what it is, people. You may say, I like the way this person, I'm going to use this for instance. I redid my kitchen counter, because I've always grown up with containers of a bread box and sugar box and all these different, tea box. I've always grew up with that. So that's always been on my counters. However, this new one that I bought is labeled. So I like that because it's upgraded, because back then it wasn't really labeled. You just knew what was in the container. You open them all up until you found what you was looking for. However, now we're able to label them, And one of my kids that come through went over to my counter and was like, I love this setup. And I just looked at her. So I know that when I go to her house when she's an adult, she's going to have a bread box and a sugar container and the rest of that stuff. Because she loved that setup and she just kept standing there looking at it. I just said, I love this setup. It's only 10. But she grabbed a hold of it. She grew up, but she grabbed a hold of it. She said, I'm taking this from Miss Jackie. Yeah, I like this. And she stood there and I had the little light on. So it wasn't like the highlight on. It was just the light on the counter. And she's just staring at it. And she said, I love this. And she just stood there, put a little arm there. And she felt so comfortable there. And when she get older, she's going to probably have that in her home. That's the way it works. This is why we need to be cautious of how we do things and what we do around other people's kids as well. Because we want them to take along the good, not the bad. We want them to take along good energy, not bad energy. So we have to be cautious on what we do. And that's just the facts. I'm just a little tired of them not breaking it down to you guys to the simplest form. So y'all can understand a little bit better of why we need to do it this way and discard of the bad and the negative energy. I see these people around here, they with the sage, you don't need to do none of that. All you need to do is pray to God. Meditate, empty your head of the negativity and pray to God. And God will take it from there. And that's just the way it is. People wasn't burning sage in the ancient times. They would go into nature and dance and pray to God and meditate and pray to God. That's why we tell people to read their history. Reading is important. Knowing your history is very important. Knowing why your culture does certain things. Like I used to always tell myself, why do I love fish so much? Oh my God, I just gotta have fish. I have to have fish. I just have to. I can't go a week without eating fish. Well, for one, my grandmother fed me fish every day. Because she would refuse to go to the market and buy packaged chicken. She used to take me to the live market in the Bronx. She said, okay, we're going to have chicken today. Come on, I feel like killing a chicken today. They would let her. Let's go ahead, Doris, go get your chicken. She would grab the chicken up. They'd be crawling around. She'd go in there. Okay, now I witnessed this with my own eyes. Right there on Southern Boulevard, used to be a live market. And she go in there and she watching the chickens and she'll grab up one, and snap his neck. Pow! All right, this is what we having for dinner. She gives it to them, they pluck it, and then cut the head off and put the head in the bag, the neck in the bag. She don't want the head, she just want the neck. Okay, she be making some neck soup or whatever she do with the chicken. and the feet, they have the feet in there, and she's making some soup with the feet, and some broth with the feet. And I watched this growing up. And I said, ooh, I don't know if I want to adopt that. But if I needed to go and grab up a chicken and snap his neck because my family was hungry, I know how to do it. So I was thankful for having her because she taught me, even while she was teaching me, even if you don't want this in your life, you know how to do it. And that's what my grandma Doris was. She took me everywhere with her. I'll never forget. We was on our way to Washington. We was on an Amtrak. And this white man disrespected her. And she got in his tail. You hear me? And I see it just like it was yesterday. And I was only 5 years old. Okay? So that was 45 years ago. And he called her a black bee. That was the worst thing he could have said. She jumped up. And she said, let me tell you one thing. And she put her face in his face. She said, I will slit your throat. And I will gut you like a fish. Don't you ever disrespect me. She said, because remember, you bleed the same blood I bleed. This is what she said. Word for word, and I quote this. That's exactly what she said. And I remember that to this day. Okay? And that man looked at her. He knew by the way she was looking at him that every word she said, she meant. And Amtrak, I don't know if it was the conductor, not the conductor. The people that walk on the train, and take your tickets and stuff. They came and pulled my grandmother back. And he just looked up at her and said, ma'am, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I would never call another woman a black bee. And I mean that. And the conductor said, ma'am, calm down because your granddaughter's watching. And she said, that's why I'm doing it. Because I don't want her to feel like she can allow not only a white man, but any man to disrespect her. And I remember that to this day. Clear as day. And I was 5 years old. So do you see what our families do? Our families, they teach us how to not only protect ourselves, but how much level of respect we're supposed to have, how we're supposed to live our lives. And as calm as I am, for those that know me now, because back when I was young, I was a little wild, but as calm as I am, if a white or black man call me a black bee, I'm going to get in his tail. Heavy. Because that's what my grandmother taught me. And that's a piece of her soul that I kept. So you see how we do this thing? Certain things we want to keep. Certain things we want to let go. I'm not going to let a person disrespect me. She taught me that. She gave me that oomph. That I fear nothing and no one but God. So I had to hold on to that. She's in my soul. But I don't wake up every day and get drunk. because I didn't want that part of her. I threw it away. You know, y'all listen to my song Poppy Poom Poom. I put in there. I don't need to, what I say? I don't need to get drunk to wine myself. I don't need to get drunk to wine myself. I don't need to get drunk to slit your throat or gut you like a fish. Because I didn't want that part of it. I just wanted the part I can protect myself. See, she was always drunk, so that was her drunk side. Where in me, she created it to be my natural. I don't need to get drunk to do all of these things. Because it's my makeup. It's who I am. Some people need to get drunk for them to act all crazy. But as long as you're not disrespecting me, I shouldn't have to feel like I need to gut you like a fish. You respect me, I respect you. That's the way it works. Well, this is what we're working on. You know, people learning the level of respect. And whatever you've been taught, this is why I try to tell people, you know, communication is the key. You know, you try to tell people what they've done wrong to make you feel a certain kind of way. Because in your makeup or your soul ties, your people taught you this, and this is why I'm feeling uneasy about it. And I need you to know that. So it's a touchy situation for me. Just like my grandmother was big in superstition. I threw that out too. But then I ran into a person that, I'm from New York, so I talk with my hands. And I pointed at them. And they was like, they got furious. Like, don't point at me. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you one of those. So I know who I'm dealing with. You know what I mean? I know that this person is superstition. They got that from their family. And they got to work it out. Do you want to hold on to that trash or do you want to, because it's not real. You have to decide who you are and who you want to be. Even if it takes isolating yourself, you have to figure it out. If I had a family member that was always going to jail, well, where you been? Oh, I was locked up, glad to see you. Then all of a sudden they disappear again, come back 10 years later. Where you been, jail? You don't want to be like that person. Throw that trash out. I had a person tell me, well, my mother and my father was always locked up. So I guess that's in my makeup. No, that's in your mind. Because that's not who you have to be. Throw that trash out. Well, my mother was a drug addict, so I guess that's what I'm going to be. Nope. Throw that trash out. Get it out your soul. That's not who you're supposed to be. You have a choice. You can let it go. It's all up to you of the souls that you let come into your life, into your soul, and how much of it you let come into your soul. You determine that. That's like a man and a woman Because the man cheat, the woman go out and cheat. So you're going to destroy your mind, your body, because he's destroying his. Two wrongs don't make it right. Let him go destroy his while you stay pure and take care of yourself and continue to elevate and keep that negative energy of 100 souls in your life and in your body. You know, like, I'm going to use Meek Mill. Y'all know I love Meek Mill. You know, he says in one of his songs, he talk about Freddy Krueger. You know, talk about, I'll come see you in your dreams. When you have soul attachments, and you wonder why you be having these crazy dreams, it's because either someone that you attached to is going through whatever you're dreaming of, or they're feeling some kind of way, and your soul is disattached too much. I said, when I have bad dreams, I start calling everybody up. Are you feeling some kind of way? No, it ain't me. Okay. You know, my son and my kids start calling them up. What about you? How you feeling today? You all right? Because you know it ain't you. You said, well, I know this ain't me. You know, it's the soul attachment that you have with this other person and then that negative energy that they won't let go. And then they're attached to you, so you're saying, well, wait a minute, don't put this off on me. I don't want this negative energy. I don't like this negative energy. You keep that to yourself. I know we soul attached, but I don't want that. That's how it works. Souls never die. But we can get rid of certain things through meditation and through God. But you have to put the work in order to feel clean and pure. I'm going to tell y'all what happened to me yesterday, and then I'm going to let y'all go. I'm feeling so cluttered in my house, right? I have a small, it's a 2-bedroom condo, you know, and my significant other really wasn't putting no money into it, you know, like fixing it up. We already had furniture and stuff, but he wasn't trying to, like, make it comfortable for us because this is not where he wanted to be. However, everything, of course, can't be totally comfortable because if it is, you'll never move on. However, it needs to be a certain level of comfortability. So this is the other thing. They said, well, if everything is comfortable, what would they say? You'll never move forward. That's not true. Okay? It's a level of comfortability to where you're comfortable enough to elevate and not stay stagnant. Okay? That's like jumping from place to place. Okay? You jumping here, jumping there, jumping here. When you can get it done right where you are. You don't have to jump all over the place. Okay? So I knew that I couldn't afford, being a single mom, to move somewhere else and pay $2,000 rent. I can't afford that. I know I can't because I'm building a business. So I have to make the surroundings that I'm in as comfortable as possible so I can keep a clear mind, stay free to elevate to the next level. Well, I felt like too much was going on up in here with these clothes, you know, because I'm like my grandmother. I love clothes, but my grandmother had a whole room as a closet. I don't have that. I have a walk-in closet, but it's not big enough. It's not like a room. So where do I put all of these clothes? I have a storage, okay? And when I was in Maryland, I had these bags, the when you suck out the air, right? Now, let me tell you how this happened, how God works, y'all. And I was the happiest camper ever. God made me so happy yesterday with this one. I'm trying to tell you. So I ordered this. I said I got to change my bedding because spring is here. If y'all notice, I went black with a little speck of white, and gray, because black and white don't lie. It just has gray. How did I say it? Black and white don't lie. It just has gray loopholes. Okay. So I felt comfortable. I slept good in all this black because black is power. Okay. I didn't have no dreams. And if I had dreams, I don't remember them. So they must not have been that bad. I just felt at peace in all of this black, and gray and specks of white. I was like, okay, I like this black, but I forgot spring was coming. And y'all know I changed my bedding by the seasons. So I'm like, okay, let me order me some bedding. So I ordered me some bedding. And I got the bedding, and the bedding was in the shrink wrap tight. And I'm like, what this thing? You use the bulky bedding stuff. It was so tight. And I'm like, why didn't I think of this, to put these clothes inside the baggage and shrink it tight? What is wrong with you? Because you've done this in the past. I had so much negative energy and other people's souls that's been around me, I forgot what to do. So you see why we need to meditate? And sometimes let certain things go so we can open the doors for the stuff that we need to do and need to put in order. I forgot, literally, about that because I had it implemented in my life 15 years ago. But because I've been in contact with all these different souls and none of them have it, I put it in the back of my mind. And all it took was for me to change my bedding, for me to get my new bedding, and that's all I needed to see. And it took me right back. I was in here, you would have thought I got $1 million. But in my heart, I did. I let all of these souls that was attached to me block that. So I had to release some of these souls. I had to get rid of them so I was able to see again. And I was able to see. I was comfortable, okay? Because I was comfortable sleeping in this black. I said, I'm comfortable. I like this. Sleeping in this black. I don't have no dreams. I'm sleeping good. I'm feeling good. But I forgot. Seasons change. I don't want to come up out of this black bedding because I like it. I like the way it feels. But I needed to come up out of it so I can get to the next level. So y'all see how it works. That's the way it works. We have to trust the process. Even though it feels so good, I got to go back uncomfortable. And it may not even be uncomfortable. I might sleep even better. So you see how God designed it? It happens every day in our lives. This is why we need to read the Bible and trust the process. Things have to happen in your life Okay? Especially if you're trying to stop something from happening in your life that should be happening. Certain things have to happen in order for you to get to the next level. And that's the way it works. So if you got all these bad souls and it's blocking you from doing what you're supposed to do, you have to get rid of it in order for you to get to the next level. And that's what I was working on with my daughter. I kept saying, I get tired of taking her to the store because now I got to get out of the car, go in, because she's afraid to go into the store. Like, look, grow up, little girl. That's what I'm saying in my mind. You know what I mean? But it's certain things she needed to let go so she can grow up and get to the next level. And now she's able to get out the car and home, go in the store and do what she needs to do. And come on out while I sit in the car and relax. And know that she will be okay without me beside her. And I'm watching. Now, when it comes to like big stores, I go in with her. But like when you're talking like a little convenience store, I shouldn't have to get out the car and go in the store with her when she's 12, 13 years old. But she had to let some things go. Okay? Whatever it was, she had to let it go. And put on her big girl panties and go in and do what she got to do. And now she's at the next level. It's the same way when we adults. I keep trying to tell people no one knows everything. None of us are perfect with Jesus Christ. Once you become totally wise, you die. Because there's nothing else for you to learn. I want to continue to learn every single day. I don't want to be the wisest man on earth. We make mistakes to learn. We level up to put certain things in the past. Just like when I lost everything from my business. I learned from all of that. I learned so much from all of that. So I had to come back down to the bottom and do it again. And then do it this way. Only thing we don't get the chance to do that with is growing. But we do get the chance to say, okay, I'm a child again mentally. I don't like the way this went in my life, so I'm going to throw that away. We don't want that. I don't like the way this went in my life. No, I didn't like that part of my life. We don't want that. You get rid of it. You don't forget it, but you get rid of it. I'm not living my life like that because I learned from it. Every day you should learn something new. Every single day. I've ran into 80-year-olds that I've taught stuff. And I've ran into a 5-year-old that's taught me something. Every single day, we supposed to learn something new. And be able, whether it's bad or good, and be able to talk about it and testify to someone that you've learned this and you know it works or it's helpful or whatever the case may be to help the next person. That's the way it works. This is Jacqueline Richard Simmons, JJ Diamond, Jackie Deja, whatever y'all call me. I love you guys, and I'll talk to y'all soon.